What's poppin', y'all? So many of the top streamers have damn near checked out of making content, and a lot of them end up having gambling deals. And in this scenario, one of the streamers that's new to the platform, Kick, Sneako, decided to call it out himself. And he said the following on X: "Is it just me, or has gambling slowly killed the ambition of every streamer who does it?" And I quoted this and I said, "Gambling both killed content and resurrected competition in the streaming industry. Kick would not be able to lose as much money paying streamers an hourly rate based on viewership if it weren't for the gambling money. And the speed and creativity in how Kick is competing with Twitch and YouTube is shockingly impressive. But it's hard to stay ambitious when the 1 hour required gambling segment makes more money than the other 8 hours of high effort streaming." I think the best way to present this is to talk about how Sneako got into streaming in the first place, because he wasn't a streamer. Originally, he was a video creator making videos that took a very long time. And one of the videos that he made was this video titled, I forgot what it was called, but it took him like a month to make. And it's when this like woman was reacting to him in a certain way. Somebody that's a fan of Sneako's will probably name the video I'm talking about. But he went and checked out Hassan's stream that was reacting to, or Hassan's video that got uploaded to YouTube from his stream, where he was reacting to Sneako's video that took him a month to film and edit. And he saw that Hassan got more views on his video, jumped to a conclusion about what he believed the video was about and the message that Sneako was trying to get across within less than 6 minutes or so of a video that was over 20 minutes, ate some food, and ended up getting more views on it and making more money on it, both on Twitch and YouTube, than Sneako did. So his original video got less views than Hassan's video. And at this point, I think it broke his brain and he started streaming. And that's when he went on that crazy arc, which led to him eventually getting banned off of YouTube. And by crazy arc, I mean, people felt like he was saying crazy stuff, but more so crazy arc as in a lot of blowing up, and he was making significantly more money with a lot less effort. Because when you see somebody that's sitting in their crib getting paid more than you to judge your piece of work that he didn't even fully watch, it breaks your brain. And I think that's what gambling does to a lot of these people. It breaks their brain. Like, for instance, Trainwreck TV, he's a co-founder of Kick, but he is one of the biggest like gambling streamers of all time. Drake watches him and stuff like that. And I've actually followed this guy for many years, maybe near 10 years now, at least since 2017. I found him, if you know, there was like this breakup between another gambling streamer right now, this dude Mitch Jones. Trainwreck was like going through some argument with him because they used to live together, and then there was this whole big breakup stream that they had. Like their friendship kind of fizzled out, and I think they were able to repair stuff later on. But that's how I found Trainwreck, and this was either end of 2016 or sometime in 2017. But I'm going to show you guys a screenshot right now of the kind of stuff that Trainwreck used to run. So right now, all of these people that you're seeing, this is in 2018. So the Sargon of Akkad guy, he was already popular on YouTube. I think there was a period of time when he was banned. I don't know what's going on right now, but he used to run this thing called the Scuffed Podcast. And all of these people here, like Asmongold is one of the biggest streamers right now in the game and one of the biggest commentators in general. Destiny had a crazy run into the mainstream. I think he's facing some lawsuit stuff, some controversy, so he's fell back a little bit. But Hassan is one of the biggest and most talked about people right now, and so is Nick Fuentes. So all of these people, he had them on Trainwreck, that is, on his podcast like 7 years ago. Like, talk about that being wild. And he used to run this podcast weekly, and it wasn't political. He would just have people on, he would ask them questions, and he would have people from different parts of Twitch. Like, he would have like Fortnite creators meeting people that were like in the dating e-girl sphere, and they would all just discuss different topics. He would have different topics lined up, and he would have sponsors for this podcast. Eventually he got like a G Fuel sponsorship, all this other stuff. But he was grinding this podcast and putting together the guests. He would have Dr. Disrespect on here, and this was a very entertaining podcast. I would tune into it almost weekly. You know what happened to this podcast when the gambling deal started coming in? It just stopped. Because for Trainwreck, who was spamming Adderall and who knows what other stimulants, this guy would wake up, he would do anywhere between a 40 to 48 hours live stream. Yes, 40 to 48 hour live stream, spinning slots. He would go to sleep for probably 18 hours and do that 3 times a week. So he would stream 3 times a week. And you got to think about it from his perspective. This guy, they were saying that he was doing 2 M's a day. Well, we know that he's worth several hundred million at the very least. So for him, he probably saw it as a window of opportunity too, because he grinded really hard to get to where he got in streaming before he even got the gambling deal. So that's why he was also really upset when damn near everyone in Twitch world turned against him and got Stake banned, which is what led to him and Eddie making Kick. I don't know if he's still a part owner of Kick, but he was definitely one of the ideas of Kick coming into fruition. Like he was talking about, we got to make something like this because he wanted a competitor to Twitch because he had felt that he had been unfairly treated by Twitch in the past. So they make Kick, and since then he hasn't even really been streaming at all much lately, even with the whole gambling. And now he's talking about, going to a different platform, but he also in the process of making all this money got addicted to gambling himself. And how motivated can you really be to drive yourself to do something like organize a podcast or the hassle that it takes to not just bring guests, but just do anything else? Like he'll do case openings on CSGO, which is also kind of gambling too, but his brain got fried. Yeah, he got ultra rich, but at what cost? And that's why I want to give an example of somebody who had the wisdom and the foresight to know himself and to not take something like that. And that is Cenat. This was one of the best days of Mafiathon 3. Like if you're an adult, you should watch this day of Mafiathon 3. There's probably a VOD of it somewhere where he has an interview with Kirk Franklin, who's a gospel singer, very accomplished gospel singer, very healthy guy, in incredible shape, by the way. He's in better shape than most 20-year-olds at his age in the 50s. And Cenat talked about getting offered a deal for his previous Mafiathon for $60 million.
I learned that not all money is good money. Yeah. So I can't, a lot of the times, there's gonna be times and opportunities where you're gonna wanna get money to do certain things that you wouldn't normally be able to, you don't normally do. Like 2023, my first Mafia thing ever, I was offered $60 million.
You were lying to me.
$60 million to do something something I did not want to do, which is gambling and stuff like that.
And what did you say?
And then after, I didn't want to take because I knew it would mess me up. I knew it would make me lose focus on what I got going on right now. I don't know how I even put, because it's so crazy I put it at that time, because
you were offered anybody 20 when you were 21.
Yeah, I was 21. Anybody would take that.
Yes.
Yeah, anybody would take that. So it's like,
and you said no?
I said no. So the first thing I did, I went to my closet. We got off the call. I went into my closet and I just asked God. I said, listen. I said I don't want. When I said no, I said I'm gonna say no right now, but I don't want to take the short term. I want to be able to take the long term. And I promise you, I got down on my knees, I prayed after that, and I just kept working. So it's like, but people gotta understand, chat. What I be trying to make y'all understand is that, bro, a lot of the things in life that comes, not all money is good money. You cannot take. Sometimes for people they want to take the short route, but as long as you believe in your craft or as long as you believe in God, I don't care by the time I'm 50 or 60 years old, I financially get to the point where I'm oh my gosh. But I'd rather take the longer route than short.
So this is the important distinction to make between what Cenat said and how most people interpret it. They'll say, oh, no, it was against his morals to do gambling. That's why he didn't do it. That's part of it. But I think the important lesson to take from here is Cenat saying it would mess with his motivation. It would mess with his hunger and how determined he was to work hard. Because if he was getting that disgusting level of money, do you think he'd be putting together another Mafiathon? Because he's spending money on Mafiathon. That's the thing. He's spending ridiculous amounts of money. He's losing money. Not losing money overall, but let's say he spends $2 million to produce a Mafiathon. Well, he could make significantly more than that and spend nothing just gambling. And I think that's what he knew, because he always wanted to accomplish new things. Even now, which we do clown him and we do give him a lot of criticism. And by we, I mean me, yes, when it comes to this whole fashion journey. But he's made a ton of money and he's pursuing fashion. And fashion is probably harder for him to make money off of in comparison to the streaming that he was doing. But I do think that there's a high expectation of him coming back to streaming, and that's partially what doesn't bring him back. But he's somebody that didn't fall into gambling, and now he's so motivated that he's pursuing another passion project that's consuming all of his time. Now, Sneako has had his own dealings with Kick, and he was offered a gambling deal multiple different times, but he had previously tried to stream on Kick, and then that didn't work out too hot. He kind of got banned, I think, for some, like, there was a moderation team that was a bit aggressive in 2024-ish of Kick. And then he started to show love to Rumble.
Built this place.
Why Rumble chat moving weirdly smooth? Because this is a good website. Because Rumble's a really good website, and I f***ed up looking at these Love Speech members hating on Rumble for no reason.
However, he would eventually end up leaving Rumble, and this was after he left his party deal too, and then he would trash talk Rumble.
First of all, you have been on Rumble, but it's like it becomes an echo chamber over there where you're cast away into this land of people where it's like a canceled world. It's the conservative world. It's the Republican world. It's the conspiracy theorist chemtrail world. Bro, the ads on there for your gums and your feet fungus ads and AI Joe Rogan. It's like you're pushed away to the side. And even then, people saw like the mistreatment. I can finally talk about this. Do you guys should I talk about this stuff? Should I talk about that stuff? I wasn't treated properly on Rumble. I ain't gonna lie. You guys saw it. You saw what happened at Power Stop. I don't need to get too into depth about that, but 2 years there. 2 years exclusive. Who else did that? Everybody else left in that time. Everybody else left. Steve left, Ricegum left, Gideon left, Mizkif left, Kason left, Kai left, Speed left. Everybody. Who else did I miss? Everybody left that platform. It was just me that whole time. It was me staying consistent on that platform the whole time, and everybody else left. But they got better treatment, so that's why I decided. And some people texted me. I was talking to Tristan Tate earlier, and he's like, Rumble was there for me when I was canceled. They were there for me when I was canceled too. But it doesn't mean that you need to have undying allegiance to this place, especially when they don't show undying allegiance to you. So yes, I respect that, but I'm not gonna stay on this platform forever just because they were there when I was canceled. I think I would have figured something out regardless. It's time to branch out. Time to do something new.
I will say I definitely understand why he trash talked Rumble, because, or at least the treatment that he received at Rumble, because these guys were playing in his face. This guy was wearing, if you thought of Rumble, other than political, you were thinking of Sneako. He was the face of Rumble, even more so than academics. They were trying to expand when they had the Speed and Kai show. They paid them a ridiculous amount of money, but the amount of people that Sneako was collaborating with and bringing to Rumble, that was unlike anybody else. He was bringing a new audience that were only on Rumble for Sneako. And the way that they treated him, especially at the Power Slap event.
There's zero chance we last if I come over. They got to be watching everywhere.
I actually didn't realize that there were 19 security guards.
Yeah, they're literally right here too. And there's specifically a barrier. What did I do, man? What did I do to deserve this? Oh, go eat. Don't worry about it. But what were you gonna say? Get canceled quickly before you eat.
I'm gonna take another shot and then I'll get canceled.
Okay, great. I don't even get why Power Slap does this, because it's there's maybe 200 seats, 300 seats. Why do they separate it this way? Security's watching the stream. Yeah, they gotta be. Look at the security all showed up right here. Show them, right at the barrier. They're waiting for me to try to walk in. Oh my God, bro. It is what it is, man.
So Power Slap, it's Dana White's company. I believe it's under the UFC. I don't know. I just know that Dana White has part ownership of it. But Rumble has an exclusive streaming deal with Power Slap, or at least they did at this point in time. So they would bring a lot of streamers to watch it, to bring more attention to the sport activity, barbaric nature of this event. And some of the other big streamers were there. They were allowed to be in the VIP section. And here's another example of somebody. You got Bryce Hall, who's a very popular figure, at least when this was going on, and he still is. He's on Rumble, on Sneako's stream. And Sneako's not allowed to go into the VIP section of Power Slap that's hosted by Rumble. Meanwhile, other streamers that are not on Rumble are allowed to be there. And it's like, damn, dog, like just spit in this man's face. But eventually last year, he would fall for the propaganda, I guess you could call it, and hop on Kick and try to stream on Kick. At this point in time, there were no more Kick deals. They were still offering him gambling deals for sure, which he refused. But he hops on Kick and he talks about the pay that he was receiving.
Clav got paid $30 for an 8-hour stream. Okay, let's see what I got. Let's see. I don't know if I could see my stream from today. $81. You can kind of get why all these niggas gamble. I think that whole KCIP marketing thing was a lie. That doesn't make any sense. X was paying more. Elon Musk was paying more when I did a vlog every day for like 130 days in a row. I got paid more from Elon than I did from KCIP. That KCIP shit is a fucking scam. What a scam. What great marketing. Everybody thinks that KCIP is incredible. What? That shit is dog shit. But man, that steak lawsuit must be expensive. That steak lawsuit must be fucking expensive. You understand why these rain bet start popping up out of nowhere?
So this was towards the end of last year, about 4 months ago, and he was talking about how whack KCIP money is. Now KCIP, it's also Kick Partner Program, Kick Creator Incentive Program. They did away with official deals, which they used to do back then, which like, hey, certain creators, you guys get deals, you stream this amount of hours. They changed it into you get paid hourly. So even if you're a person that has like 100 viewers, if you get partnered on Kick, they'll pay you some hourly rate based on the real viewers that you are able to hold on to. And how do they know who the real viewers are? They have a back end system. So even if you're like, try to fake it, they'll know based on chat engagement, a bunch of other things that they've talked about. And Sneako has hopped on Kick since then. He's streamed both on YouTube and Kick, and he's even experimented a bit with Twitch, but he's shown people how much he's earning right now from Kick.
For everyone who wants to know, I mainly stream on YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. Kick is here and Kick is good, but this is January. So I'm not really inclined to show this stuff, but it's just because everyone's on my. I won't show YouTube. You know, YouTube is even better, but here's Kick. Here's how much I made. The 13-hour stream made $12,000, 12.5K. Yesterday it was 4K. Oh no, 2 days at 3.6. There's 8K, all this stuff. There you go. So yeah, all the pocket watchers, there you go. There you go, here's your content. So just imagine what I'm making on YouTube if this is what I'm making on Kick. All right? No bots.
So with this, I think this is Kick propaganda. I don't think Sneako is being paid to spread Kick propaganda. I just think that he's showing how much he's earning. But I do think that Kick realized after Aiden Ross, who's another person that had to deal with them, was complaining about his KCIP earnings, they realized like, okay, let's make sure that the top guys, they're getting paid a good amount of money, because if they spread how much they're getting paid, then it's going to bring us more streamers. Because right now, Kick's interest is not in getting a ton of viewers. They already got the first base of viewers, the first wave of viewers in the first 18 to 24 months. Now they're trying to get streamers on there because they want to have enough streamers so that if I'm a viewer of Sneako, let's say, and I'm done watching a Sneako stream, I don't just leave Kick. I have another streamer that I'm interested in watching that's also on Kick. That was the problem that Rumble had with Sneako, which is people were going on there and they're like, well, if they weren't interested in politics, they're like, what the hell else am I going to watch? I'm getting off the platform. So right now, the Kick clipping program, they're spreading the platform themselves. So a lot more people under the age of 22 are familiar with Kick, as opposed to just 2 years ago when people were like, Kick, what the hell is that? Or if you ask a lot of people above the age of 25, 26 that aren't involved in streaming whatsoever, just like normal people that are on the internet, they may not even know what Kick is. But they've probably seen the logo from all the clips now because that distribution works really well. But it's like I said, with the people that were smart enough to stay away from the gambling, like Speed. Speed is very motivated in his content, constantly doing cool stuff. He didn't get sucked into the gambling. Aiden Ross is an example of somebody that this was his downfall. Like the amount of money he made, the amount of money that he makes currently. And yes, he has gone through a lot, especially this year with the passing of his sister. But you can circle this back to the past 3 3 years. Like in retrospect, he's been very lazy. Other than creating very big moments like a Trump moment or huge collaborations, he doesn't even stream between the huge collaborations. And if he does stream, he's streaming some sort of gambling. Whereas I think what a lot of people wanted from him, especially his OG fan base, like the people that watch him, and I watched a lot of Aiden Ross in the past. Like I saw the whole Aiden Ross come up. It's like, yo, just chill and do your thing with your friends. That's just what people wanted to see. And in his mind, he's probably like, man, why the hell am I going to hop on stream and make pennies for him when I can just hop on stream and do an actual event or plan an event, or I can hop on and talk to my chat anyway, but be gambling and actually get paid something that's worth it. Because it's like you're taking a pay cut to do more work once you've opened this Pandora's box. Now, granted, he is building brand risk, which is incredible platform, to be honest. It's such great entertainment, peak entertainment, but that's being done with a business partner, Jordan, who I feel like is contributing a lot of the running of the business. Now, sure, Aiden Ross is using his leverage as Aiden Ross, one of the biggest social media influencers, to get certain people on there, but this guy's not running a full-time business. Let's be real here. And I'm not saying that he has to. So that's one thing that he's building. But if we take a look at Twitch, which is why we have to give Twitch streamers credit. Like you see streamers like the Kai Cenat guy. You see a guy like Rakai. That guy's constantly high energy. Oh, granted, he can't even get a gambling deal because I don't even think he's 18 yet. So let's get him out of the way. Let's just take a Ty Lil, for instance. Let's take a Your Rage. I don't think he has one because he's on Twitch. Let's take even Jason the Wayne, Lacey, some people that people think are corny or whatever. These guys, they did not take a gambling deal. Well, I think he has like a shuffle, like card drawing. I don't know. The gambling has gone everywhere. Lacey has that now, but these guys are very active. They're streaming all the time because they are incentivized to stream more hours. The more hours they stream, the more they make. The less they stream, the less they make. And there's nothing that they can do other than a brand deal, which isn't predictable, that's going to give them a huge fat amount of income. And also a negative aspect of this is these guys have to spend a lot on their content. So they're spending a lot on their content, they're making a lot, but there's still this lack of security that the gambling streamers have already made sure was handled a long time ago. And one person, because I'll have to give credit to one person that did take the gambling side of things, made a ton of money before it, but also didn't stray away from streaming, and that's XQC. I mean, this guy's been in the game for 10 years, but he's a guy that streamed on Kick, I think exclusively for a period of time, but now he co-streams everywhere, and he is actively streaming, actively doing the content that he was already doing, but this guy was built to stream. He didn't win Streamer of the Decade for no reason. He still does the same stuff, and it's because he genuinely loves it. I don't know if Aiden Ross loves streaming like that, because if these guys really, really loved it, then they would continue doing it, and more money wouldn't change them. Like, let's take Ninja, for instance. Ninja is so far past his peak in viewership, but this guy streams every single day because he loves it. He loves it more than anything else. So I think maybe you could say that the incentives, like it's hard to stay ambitious, which I do believe that once you see past the veil and see how much these guys are making, and you're like, okay, I understand why he's lazy now. Why would he do anything else? Why would he plan a stream to make 1/10 of what he would make in an hour just sitting there spinning some slot? I get it. But when you have examples like an XQC and examples like a Ninja and examples like a bunch of other streamers that have been set for life, like you just take a not Shroud, who's the other guy, like a Summit, right? Like a Summit 1G. That guy, he never took a gambling deal, but he's made more than enough money and he still streams. And I don't want to call it grinding it out for these guys because they're not grinding. They're doing whatever they want. They're just doing it on stream and having fun. And I think what we're realizing is a lot of these people, they may not like streaming anymore. Maybe it was a phase of their life and they've grown up a little bit and they're like, man, I don't really want to do this. It's just a job now. And that's understandable as well. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see you on the next one.